This is the Run Recap.
Might be more entertaining than things we often talk about.
Dude, I don't know what you're talking about. Our conversations are the most riveting thing
Riveting.
anyone has ever heard. 100%.
100%.
Yeah. Okay, I'm at 3%. Okay, got it. All right, cool. So what I was gonna say, what I was gonna start with is that I don't think I have much to talk about.
Yeah,
That's me
well,
like the main thing of so the subject of today that I think we should go over is how I don't think I've done that much recently. So I just had to interject for a second. Uh, I know you guys are used to some pretty riveting information and conversation on the Run Recap, but we're off to a bad start. I don't know what went wrong. Underprepared, unmotivated. I'm not sure, but it's not a good start. And I want to say it gets better, but I don't know if I can promise that it's going to get better. So buckle up. But the good thing is, I'm going to be right here with you. I'm going to be coaching you through this whole episode and kind of how to really make it through. You know, a lot of what we talk about is the endurance and the struggle. You know, so I think it's just a good time to tap into that mentality and just be in it for the long haul. Know that I'll be checking in with you throughout the way and coaching you through this episode and helping you make it to the end. Okay, so we're in this together. I'll be checking in with you in a little while. Just hang in there. Do your best.
okay. Well, I'm trying to do much. And,
Yeah,
yeah, and man, I'm struggling.
yeah. So when we talk about this though, you asked about because you're trying to get into a routine of working out and that kind of thing because
Yeah,
you've been all over the place with work and life. So you're trying to hit like 2 days a week with in the gym, right, at
right.
minimum,
Which I have not
right?
done. I did one
That's what I was going to
I
ask you
did
if you've
one
actually
last
been able
week,
to do that.
and then I did bar this morning. That is all the gym I've been in. Still not doing it. But
Uh,
I don't think it's bad to have like, okay, I know I need this in my life, so I'm gonna get the plan set up to then try and
hmm.
integrate it. And it's like, well, if it takes me 2 more weeks to integrate it than I wanted to, that's okay. Hey, at least got the plan there, so when it does line up to actually make this adjustment, I go right into it and we're good. So
Yeah. Well, and not only that, like you need to be able to, you still need to go to the gym. Like as
right,
much as even if you can't do it as much as you want to, you know it needs to happen. So
yeah,
if you didn't have at least an intention of a plan, you probably wouldn't go at all, right?
yeah, exactly. And
So,
some of the issue is that I'm still like, I'm just fatigued lately, so
yeah.
it's just been hard to work out. So,
Hmm.
yeah, man, I lifted last week on Thursday, and it took me. Yeah, I was sore for 4 days, and I purposely didn't push that hard because I was like, I need to be able to. I want to be able to work out tomorrow or whatever. Just like I
Yeah.
don't want to be so sore that I'm not functional, but I wanted to push a little bit, and so I did.
Right.
I felt like I just pushed a little. Man, we did. I did squats at 135. And so that's not, it didn't even feel heavy when I
Hmm.
was doing it. It just felt
Yeah.
good, it's nothing. And I did, 3 sets of something or other, not a ton, but,
Yeah.
but did a decent amount of reps and did them really
Yeah.
low and everything. But even got done, I didn't feel like I pushed. I didn't struggle, nothing. And man, like all the muscles you work doing squats all hurt for a long time. So I was trying to do like a full body, like, okay, I don't want to like do a hard leg day where I can't walk. And I was
Right.
like, and I accidentally ended up just shy of that still, even though
Yeah.
I really purposely did not push. I worked really hard to not do it. And
That's
then,
hilarious.
yeah, and then I did like a normal core routine that then
Hmm.
also like, well, no, here's the trouble. I did that and then I went straight to Christie's bar class. And so I did core and then bar is just, a lot of variations of core.
It's
Everything you're doing is
also
engaging core.
it's also a lot of legs too, though. So it could have
It's
been
true.
that also.
Yeah, I think is adding the two on top of each other. Either one of
Hmm.
them would have been fine. Both of them was way too much in one day.
Yeah, yeah, I bet that's a lot of it.
You mentioned the other day that you were going to do some 400 intervals. Did you get to those?
Nope.
Yeah, bummer.
Yeah, I know. I need, man. That's what I need to get to that stuff. And it's just, if you're working out, like if I'm running, 3 to 5 days a week, then I can fit an interval day and I can do that. But I'm running more like twice a week. It's like,
Yeah.
and I got time to run, 4 miles, 3 miles, 4 miles, something like that. It's like, well, I just push those 2 days and that's it.
Well, according to our plan, though, you shouldn't even be running that far.
It's true. Yeah, that is true. But yeah, if that's all I've got, then that's all I've got. And I just like, okay, well, that's what I'll do. I'm just gonna go do that
Yeah.
thing, and then also feeling like I do have that. I have my 5K coming up in now 2.5 weeks, and so the more comfortable I can make 3 miles at a fast speed, the better. And so I'm doing like the mental work of it. Physically, I can't really do much. So anyway, and so I did last night. Actually, yesterday I was able to fit a run, and the weather's been just beautiful over here for that.
Yeah.
And so yesterday was like 83 and sunny, and I had some time around 2 o'clock to go get a run in. And I wanted to do my 6 mile, but I didn't have time for that. Just this is my favorite. It doesn't fit into my plan. It has nothing to do with that. Just I like my 6 mile run. I couldn't do that one, so I'm gonna do my 4 mile run. My 4 mile run has like the most brutal hill in it. Like it's just, it is killer. So you run a mile and a half, and then it's straight up 5 mile. On a road that's actually closed at the top. So people usually take this, you can't drive up this way.
Yeah.
And, but this hill is just so steep. So like way worse. It's same elevation as my 6 mile, because it goes up 5
Yeah.
miles. But it's in a way shorter distance, and it's just a brutal hill. And I didn't even think about it until today. I was so disappointed in my run because I took off and I was like, I felt like I was working way too hard for how slow I was going. I was going quick, not fast. Low sevens or something, and which for where I want my race pace to be at is very disappointing for that to feel hard.
Right.
It's not where I want to be at all. So anyway, did that. We're like, well, I'm going to throw this hill in the middle of it. That's free speed work, So I, hit the hill and went up and like, oh, this is hard. This is really, really hard. and every time, when the hill gets steep, the one key that I do for keeping my head on straight to where you're running those hills, and it just is brutal. It's just beating you down. Every time it lets off a little bit, I stride out and speed up every single time, because it stretches it out. You don't get caught in this thing, because if it's steep and you're going at this slow pace, because it's steep, it's just you're doing everything you can, and then it lets off and you stay at that pace. When it comes back again, you're done. Like mentally anyway. Physically, obviously, you'd be fine. So anyway, so I was doing all that just right. Like it let off, stride it out, feel real good. Okay, back into the work, and it kept doing that. Came to the top, crested the hill, and again, and when overdid my speed for a little bit just to kind of like get back in the rhythm, and then came up over the top where it really gets real easy. I'm like, oh, I'm shot. There's nothing left here. I gotta walk for a little bit. Just everything. I feel dehydrated. I feel tired. I feel like my muscles are just burning.
Yeah.
And anyway, so I walked for like a block. I'm like, okay, let's get back into it. Got back into it. And it was still the hardest part of the whole run was running back down 5 mile.
Oh my gosh.
The easiest part of the run was by far the hardest part. It's just, I don't know. It's just where I'm at, And so it was
we
tough.
can't always be in our peak form all the time, right?
But it's stupid we're not,
It is stupid we're not. That's why I try to keep my aesthetics as perfect as possible, so that it looks like I am, whether I am or not.
But isn't that more disappointing?
Yeah. Okay, so how you guys doing? Obviously, we're going to start talking about body fat percentage and how lean we are and a whole tons of narcissistic nonsense. So, I mean, if you want to skip like the next 30 seconds to a minute to 5 minutes, I totally get it. Do what you got to do. And we'll come back around. We'll get some good stuff coming on. So I think the important part right now is to breathe and kind of stay present, but also it's okay to be a little distracted too. Go do some other things, and maybe if you're doing dishes right now or driving the car, just kind of tune out for a little bit. Okay, we'll come back around to something a little more interesting. So just keep going. Breathe through it. Try to relax, and enjoy the ride. We'll get back to some stuff in a little bit. All right. So you got this. Okay. We can do it. We can do it together. Okay. I'm right here. All right. Let's get it.
Like, like
What?
it's my okay. So right now my body fat's super low right now. Like
Yeah.
I'm under 160 pounds most of the time,
Yeah.
and you know, and I look really fit. I'm not working out that much. I think I'm just the way I'm just. I think I'm just busy, so I'm moving around a whole bunch. I'm running
Yeah.
enough to maintain, and I think my diet just currently is in a place where I'm just not holding on to any of it, and so. I look in the mirror. I'm like, man, you look fast. Like
Yeah.
you're gonna go quick today. You know, you're light, you're strong, you're good. And I take up. I'm like, I'm not strong at all.
Yeah.
This is horrible. And I did bar today, and same thing. Like Christy just demolished me in class this morning. Like,
Yeah.
you know, and stuff like, and I'm watching her. I'm like, and, you know, there's certain things that you know, where I know she has an advantage just due to physiology. You know, women can do different things than men can do better than, you know, there's just things like that. But Christy was killing me and stuff that I should be more naturally good at. You know, usually like,
Yeah.
oh, we start using biceps and triceps, and like, all right, awesome. You know, I can outdo the old ladies in this class now with this stuff. You
Yeah.
know? And no, I was just getting destroyed on everything. Like, yeah, like it was, I had such a hard time.
Well, the problem with that also, though, is with. I'm not saying this is the issue you were running into, but in class situations, often, like women are going to gravitate towards whatever weight they think they can do,
Yeah.
right? For what the thing is. And whereas a guy is going to gravitate towards 99% of guys are going to gravitate towards what weight they think they can lift that's the heaviest possible weight.
And I have
Right.
done so good with going down, like seriously, like oh, I full on did it. Like when
Yeah.
it started class, because like okay, I can do tons of reps with 20s, you know, like
Yeah.
on most things, like and especially when I first started doing bar, I was lifting a lot, I was in good shape, you know,
Yeah.
and you can't do bar with 20s. You just
No.
like you don't make it, you barely make it into the class at all,
Right.
you know? So
Exactly.
so I went down, you know, went down from there and like, okay, 12s, I can do 12s, you know, and no, you can't do 12s, can't do 10s. So I've been consistent with 8s for a long
Yeah.
time. Like I can do most things with 8s. And yeah, and that still, I still like, I do have, it's probably a competitive ego thing or just the normal male thing or whatever. But
Yeah.
yeah, so with the 8s though, I should probably have 8s and I should probably also have 5s or 4s. For certain
Yeah.
things, you know, especially when we're like gonna hold your arms out for like minutes, you know.
Yeah, I mean, you're doing prolonged isometric holds and like more instead of like, you know, the close to 100 reps of things. You're doing thousands of reps of things,
Right.
You know, so yeah, you're those 35s that you can curl 8 times. Yeah, that's not going to work.
Not at all. Yeah, you can't like hold those out like, with your arms all the way out for any period
Yeah,
of time.
for a minute.
Jeez, just my arms alone are super heavy on some of those. I have to drop my arms with no like
yeah.
I've already dropped my weights, and now I have
Yeah.
no weights, and it's still too heavy.
Yeah.
And you know, but again, the old ladies next to me are using 3s, and they're doing just fine. I'm doing nothing.
Consistency, man. That's the big thing. You do
Now, here's a
lot.
question, though. Okay, so I have a
Okay.
theory that this might be a male-female difference. It might not. It might just be more of
Okay.
the activities we're doing. They're developing it for something. But I think that I am naturally able to do more explosive, less reps. Like a natural, not just because I work out that way, but naturally. And I have a feeling that women can do way more reps prolonged with lighter weight. I have a
So
feeling there's a
this-
physiological difference there. Is there?
First off, before I address that sounds like a sprinter talk right there. So are you alluding to the fact that you think you're naturally more gifted as a sprinter?
I would say
Is that
my
what you're trying to
arms,
say?
my arms are sprinters. You know, they don't like doing anything for very long. Just like do the power real hard and move on. You know.
Yeah. Well,
But it
okay,
is true
so,
with the leg things. Most of the leg things, if we're doing squats or something like that, I can do all day long. Like I have tons of stamina, but my arms don't have stamina at all. But they're plenty strong.
yeah. So if you're talking explosive, you're talking like, is there an anatomical difference? Not anatomical, but a genetic difference between
Yeah.
men and women when it comes to explosiveness, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, there is, because it's very simple to put it, because we have more muscle than they do. You're more explosive with more muscle. That's just.
But they
Just
also seem to
simply-
be able to handle prolonged, you know, like holding.
Yeah,
like they'll hold
that's-
positions for long periods of time that I can't
That's
do.
trained.
Like I have
Yeah,
no
that's
weight
just
at all,
trained,
and I
though.
still can't do it.
Yeah, yeah. That all of that is trained though, because I mean, that is not a female attribute. That's just some of them have done a lot of that.
So
Right? Because
here's
I have tons of women that I can throw into isometrics and they can't do any of it.
Here's an interesting anecdote to add to that, though, when we're talking like distance running, sprinter thing. Once you get into extremely long endurance things, the difference between male and female performance tends to not be near as drastic. So you see that with ultra running. Once you hit,
Yeah.
once you're talking, when you're out there going for 5, 6, 7 hour, 10 hours straight. That's where the male female difference doesn't seem to happen. You get a lot of
totally.
you get a lot of females winning overall in major races.
Yeah, yeah, because it's about the muscle endurance, and that's not about how much you have. It's just about, and especially when it comes to like ultras, it's just a mental game anyway.
Yeah, that's
Like,
it. There's no
It's
physical.
just well, no, but it's true. It's a mental game with fuel.
Yeah, sure.
Because it's not necessarily about speed to beat out 90% of the competition.
Yeah, with a lot of it. Yeah, once you get elite, of course,
Right.
totally different story. Where
Different story.
One of those guys are running 7-minute miles and still doing 100 miles. That's
Right.
totally different.
Which people say that. I'm skeptical that exists.
It exists. It
I
does
know.
exist.
I don't, because I can't watch it happen.
Yeah. Right.
I don't trust it.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
just that skeptic in me that I'm like, I know how hard it is to run a 7-minute mile. And I know, and I've seen you see marathoners running whatever they're running, averaging 450 or something, at a marathon. But I'm not going to sit down and watch, and you can't watch 100 miles straight with no stops.
Right. Oh yeah.
Right.
Exactly. Well,
And
let's see
so
what
I'm like, I don't trust it. I don't trust that it exists.
I want to see what the record is for 100 miles for a female.
Yeah, look at it. I was listening to another podcast talk about, this podcast is making fun of a different podcast. They're saying that over the years, isn't it crazy that the women have closed the gap in the marathon to only 9 minutes?
Sure.
I have no idea if that's true or not, but it sounds about right.
It's something like that, though. Yeah, it's not.
Yeah,
it's not
so
far.
the elite women are 9 minutes slower than the elite men, right? Mm-hmm. But you think about shaving 9 minutes off of a marathon is really fast. You got to run really quick,
especially when you're down around 2 hours, right?
Exactly, right?
that's
9 minutes is huge. The fact that we're breaking the world record on the marathon by what the last one was by 30 seconds, maybe, something like that. And we're struggling to get under 2 hours. It's not 9 minutes is not close between the two. But the podcast was talking as if how are men not better, or why is this gap so close? If men are better physically at so many things, then why are the women catching up so dramatically? It's well, yeah, they're not though.
Yeah, they did. I mean, it's still a big difference. They did catch up quickly, which I think
of
that's the
course.
disparity is not near like
Yes.
it used to be, which might just be
Right.
more access to things. We always, there's always a thing of in different sports. Sometimes there's a bigger difference between male and female just because of how popular it is. We see that in
How
skateboarding.
popular?
Skateboarding.
Yeah,
I'm
exactly.
not so sure in many types of skateboarding that men actually have an advantage at all. It's just that
Man.
it's 99% men. So you
The
have a different
street
talent.
skating that women are doing, especially right now, is crazy.
Oh yeah, it has gotten so good so fast, and again, just because we're bigger and stronger does not make you better at that. It's so much more detailed, and it's pretty cool to see as it's gotten popular. It's getting pretty
But
awesome.
kind of like you're saying, the further you go in that endurance, that gap does narrow because you don't need as much power and strength necessarily. You just need endurance. You need endurance, you need fuel, and you need a good mental mindset. It's like that one this is from someone else telling me this. I don't know how true this is, but there's some elite female ultra runner who got hit in the head or something, and the part of her brain that processes discomfort is just gone,
Oh
and so she just doesn't have to stop.
man, what's going to happen
Ever.
when we can just do that? We can just turn off.
Yeah,
a piece.
Yeah.
You know, I mean,
I
like
don't know.
all the biohacking's happening anyway. Now where we're kind of finding little tricks here. I mean, not near that level. But we're all playing with little tricks. How can we make this
Yeah.
happen? And not just playing with tricks with like mind games. Like it's
Yeah.
it's high school, we're just playing mind games. We're just going to change how we're reframing. We're changing how we're thinking
Right.
about something. And now we're like, yeah, but if I like take this supplement and I eat this food and I do this, you know, we're kind of like just adjusting things a little bit here
Yeah.
and there. And
Just do constant doses of DMT the entire time you're running, right? To so you just don't aware. So like the story that I read or heard or something, the wives' tale that I came across was that this lady has even like won some ultra races with running like miles the wrong direction.
Wow, that'd be fun to to dig into that and see.
Yeah.
Well, so I do have here though. So the 100-mile women's record is at 7:37 pace,
Good God, that
And I
is
think
so
it-
fast.
and I think that race still had 700 feet of elevation, which over 100 miles isn't very much, but you know, still has elevation. in it.
So that's the pace. So basically,
That's 12
that's
hours
the
and
as-
41 minutes.
that's
That's
the
the-
average that she ran.
Yep.
Man, that is so fast. for
Average
that long. 12
7:30
hours?
pace for 12 hours and 41 minutes.
What's the name?
Let me find it.
That is, man, that is so fast. I can't imagine that, or I can't imagine the want or desire to run for that long.
6:30 pace for men's.
Yeah,
Ten-
see, like,
so, yeah, so it is 2 hours faster to 10 hours and 51 minutes.
yeah, that is a lot faster actually. Mm-hmm.
So maybe the guy has it
Okay.
easier though. He's actually running for way less time. And when you get into like, personally, and I don't know if anyone else feels this way. Personally, I feel like once I get around an hour or more, it's
Yeah.
actually harder to run for a longer period of time than it is for me to run faster. So
Oh.
I find a half marathon at 1:35 way easier than a half marathon at 1:45.
yeah,
So at 1:40,
interesting.
like because I now have to fuel during it. I have to do other things, but I can run for an hour and a half really hard with just the fuel I had before and maybe a sip of water along the way. But that's it. That's fine.
Yeah.
As soon as we hit that hour and a half mark, now I'm running on empty. I don't have anything left. So I've run it like 9-minute miles. Like, oh, we're just gonna take it easy and do that, and then so it takes me 2 hours. Well, at the
Yeah.
hour and a half mark, I'm done. Like I can't.
Yeah.
I can't go for
can't
an
do
hour
it
and a half.
anymore.
And I'm sure I could probably train that, but that's how I'm trained.
Yeah.
Like I can't do anything for more than an hour and a half straight without then doing something else. You know, I need to eat a cheeseburger at that point or something.
Yeah.
All right, so how are we hanging in there? I'm about to go into my disdain for distance running and how much I hated in my Bloomsday training from last year, and I don't know that you need to hear any of that. So let's add a little fun fact to break this up a little bit. Did you know, good fun fact, that bananas are berries, but strawberries aren't? Botanically speaking, strawberries don't qualify as true berries, but bananas do. It's because bananas, or rather, because in botanical terms, a berry is a fruit that develops from a single flower with one ovary and has fleshy walls. Bananas fit that description. Strawberries don't qualify as berries because they come from a flower with multiple ovaries. What we think of as seeds on the outside are actually individual fruits called achenes, whatever you want to call it, each with its own seed inside. That means that scientifically, bananas are closer to being in the same category as grapes and tomatoes, while strawberries aren't. So there's a fun fact to break up the episode before you go into me complaining about how much I hate running longer than 30 minutes. So enjoy the rest.
Man, yeah, I think my cap is like an hour before. Not before I need to refuel. I don't know, before I'm just done. Like, I hate
Yeah.
life so much when I get over the hour. When I was doing the Bloomsday training last year, and I was like, just starting out with trying to get my distance back up. So I'm like, timing is whatever. I'm just going to go the distance that I need to go.
Right.
And I was trying to stick around the hour roughly. And I would run for... Yeah, every time before I start getting my times lower and lower, I would hit the like 1:15, and I'm like, I just can't anymore.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know how far I've gone. I don't care. Like, this just needs to end as soon as possible.
So that's where I think in a race situation it works better, where you're
Yeah.
doing an hour. So like, can you do another 15 minutes? Because because if you're running an hour and 15 minutes, 15 minutes seems like nothing, and now
Yeah.
you're like, oh, I've got 2 miles left. Okay, can I push 2 more miles?
No, it needs to be done. It needs to end as soon as possible. I can't. 15 more minutes, that's like, I don't care if I ran an hour. 15 more minutes is not like nothing left. It's too much.
There's our sprinter distance runner. 15 minutes. Like, oh yeah, just 15 minutes, no problem. Like we can do
No,
this.
it's too much.
And I start getting encouraged by all the people that went out too fast. You're like, ooh, they're dropping off. Ooh, they're dropping. All right, I just picked up another spot. In that last couple miles, you find who made a mistake.
Yeah.
And you start picking people up. Last year,
You find you made a mistake. It was me.
right? You're the one.
I'm the
you're
one
the
who
one
made
I'm
the
catching
mistake.
and picking up.
Yeah,
man.
exactly.
Last year I picked up like 5 spots in the last, and
Yeah.
I didn't pick up my speed at all. I didn't have, I ran my last half marathon. I ran at like right about 7 flat pace, and so I didn't have much. I knew that that's pretty well pushing what I've got, and it might have I might have pushed a little past what I had, real honestly.
Yeah.
And but as I'm going, and I'm watching people just drop like flies. I'm like, oh, cool. I think I picked up 4 or 5 spots in the last 2 miles. So at first I was like, oh, I'll probably get, I don't remember what the places were. I think I was going to get somewhere around like 12th or something like that. And I came in below the top 10. I can't remember what it was though. But
Yeah,
anyway.
it was so, last Blooms, it was so frustrating with just how difficult it was. It was
It's
just,
so bad.
I wanted it to
Our
be so
experiences
much easier.
our experiences were so different for last Bloom's Day. And
Yeah.
that's such a bummer.
It hurt the whole time, and it was so, it felt, and yeah, it just felt so defeating. And what's frustrating about it more is that it was just a fuel problem.
Right.
I
Yeah.
didn't fuel correctly because I'm not used to running that long.
Yeah, fueling right, sleeping right. You had a few
And-
factors that probably would have actually
Yeah,
probably would have
the
made it
sleep.
enjoyable if those things weren't there.
But yeah, because it was just frustrating to hit my wall at such an early spot, and
Right.
for everything else to feel just like agony, just like
We'll do
I
it better next year.
We'll see. I'm not committed yet. um,
Well, and for that matter, like training might be, you won't be traveling next year probably and all that. So
yeah, we'll see. I have no
Yeah.
idea.
So that might make things
how it's
better.
gonna look. Dude, I almost pulled my hamstring the other day.
Oh, you said that. All right,
Yeah.
tell me about it.
So this is a good lesson in warming up is very important. I didn't do any sprints over the weekend because Elise was sick and we had some things going on. So I didn't get to go to the track like I usually do. So I really wanted on Tuesday. I really wanted to like move fast, and I'm at the gym. I wanted something more explosive out, like that I'm self-propelling, but I didn't have time to do all of that stuff. So I'm like, I have time
Sure.
to hop on a treadmill and do 200s. So I was going like, I'm gonna do 5 200s, 5 200s at 30 seconds. Haven't really tried that before, or like at that fast. Like, I don't really know if that's attainable, but that's what I'm gonna
Yeah.
do. Rest is whatever. Rest will be as long as I need it to be, which I think
And
that
at
is
30
like,
seconds, that's not a terribly fast 200 for you.
yeah, it was fast. Well,
But like
also,
you've done
yeah.
a much faster 200 than that recently.
I've done
Right, haven't-
a faster 200.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like for going reps of it though, like that's
Sure.
a quick 200. And so I was on our assault treadmills, right, which are they're self-propelled, but it's still just a different dynamic, right?
Right.
And I was like, I had a half hour, and so I know my rests are going to take a while. I'm just trying to use my time as best I could. So I did like 2 warm-up sprints at like maybe 100 meters worth, maybe 120, but like just kind of go faster, and some increasing speed stuff. And then I just did it. So like
Yeah.
zero warm-up basically.
Yeah.
And I got to, and they felt fine. So I did let's see, I did 30 seconds, 30. So number 4, I think I fell off a little bit. I think I had like 31 maybe. And the 5th one, I stopped. I had to stop. I made it to 120 meters. And I did a really good thing. I give myself a little credit. I I felt the twinge of my hamstring, and not like twinge is the wrong word. I felt it start to tighten up just on the one leg, just like a little bit of tension, and so I stopped immediately. I was like, oh, shut it down. So 120 meters, I'm like, done. That's it. I'm not going to try to push it past this feeling, and because usually, you're pushing like I got 80 meters. Like you just go,
Right.
just keep going. You're fine. But I'm
Yeah.
like, nope, I'm not going to do that. And so it's like, it's a little tight. As the day went, it just tightened up so bad. I'm like, I know if I took like 5 more steps, it would have just like strained super bad. And
Have
it
you
was like,
Have you had bad hamstring strains in your life?
oh yeah,
Like a lot
I
of them?
pulled not a ton. I've enough to give it enough respect.
Yeah.
I've been to in high school. My high school, I was hurt all the time.
Sure.
I went to PT for my hamstring, went to PT for my quad. I had shin splints, like I hurt my back, like it was just everything. And so I know, and I felt it enough to know that, like, don't push through it, don't do the ego thing. I'm just trying to finish out and like
Sure.
baby it. Just stop right away. So I stopped, and it still tightened up so bad the whole day. I was like not quite limping, but almost limping. It was so tight. I went home that night, threw some compression sleeves on it, or some air compression. These guys
Yeah. The leg squishers.
that are right behind me. So I did those, and the next day it felt pretty good. Like it was a little tender in the morning, then loosened up, and it's totally fine. But what I think sometimes people think about this is, it wasn't the warm up because it didn't pull to the end. Right, and that's the mistake that a lot of people can make is, but I was clearly warmed up
Right.
because I did 4 and I was fine, and the
Yeah.
5th one it started to pull. It's like, no, the warm up is so key. You need explosive stuff, or especially if you're going to do an explosive activity, you need explosive stuff progressively early on, so that when you need that maximum demand, because I wasn't in a maximum demand until the end. And I'm trying to keep my pace. And I know I'm falling off it, so now I'm putting more demand on the muscle that it was
Right.
not ready for at all, right? But I was just thinking through about how a lot of people go through that problem, and not pushing through that initial signal that there's going to be an issue, but just thinking that the warm up wasn't the problem in that situation.
Well, and even
You know?
learning to warm up is a whole. I'm still so
Yeah.
bad at it, and it's something I'm always trying to like just get better at do. Because I know it's necessary,
Yeah.
and and especially the older I get, the more I know it's necessary. And when I do accidentally warm up well, the performance difference is drastic. So
Oh,
like
yeah.
if I do a class at the gym and then go for a run, like even if the class is like pretty brutal, and then go for a run, that run tends to be way better, like really good. Even if
Absolutely.
even though I technically way over warmed up. But if
Yeah.
I've experienced that with doing a hard class at the gym, and then like an hour later going for a run, 2 hours later going for a run, the muscles are still just in such a much better place, and
Yeah.
oftentimes. So there are two things that make for a really fast run in my experience. That might it's doing a hard workout in the morning and then running in the afternoon tends to make that run really good, and then also eating at Dick's just before running. Those are the two factors to where some of my fastest runs, like many of my PRs in my older age have come from eating at Dick's and working out hard in the gym first.
How far after eating can you run?
Oh, it wasn't good, but performance wise, it was excellent. So no, one of my best, I think it's still my 10K. Well, not my 10K PR. My 10K PR with my hard route that I do is still on a day where I ate at Dick's and I ran an hour later, and I was burping whammies the whole time. It was disgusting.
Oh.
I felt horrible, but man, I was fast. So I think I averaged with running up 5 miles. I remember my average was sitting at like 7 flat.
Man,
With 400 feet of elevation in that 10K. So yeah, it was.
Yeah.
I think I ran my first mile just over 6 minutes. It was. Yeah, it was quick, and my stomach was feeling horrible. My legs felt awesome.
I've found recently that what makes my run really good is doing light sprint work before.
Yeah, I think so.
Doing the workout before, like you're talking about, I found that is helpful also. But specifically, the other day I was going to go for my run, and because I've been thinking of this through, that when my runs have felt faster and the times have been a little bit better, what I was doing right before. And so intentionally, I'm like, I don't have a lot of time, but I'm going to go to our garage here where I do my sprints with like enough for maybe 50 meters, right? So it's not a lot. And if you do 50 meters, you're stopping really quick.
Sure.
That's all you got. And
Yeah.
so I went out, I did 4 just hard strides, just progressively faster, not, 70% maybe, but trying to get my
Yeah.
fast twitch muscles engaged, getting a good long stride with good form up on the toes. And I went out and ran, and that was the run I sent you last week. That was
Yeah.
6:19, 6:30, 6:40, or something like that.
Yeah,
right? So
great.
it felt awesome. I felt light on my feet and the whole way, and I kind of died towards the end. But like for the most part, I felt like a really good run, and it was faster than my other runs have been. So
Yeah.
like that, I need that speed work before. Whereas previously, I've tried like I'm gonna go run half a mile before my run, or I'm gonna do like specific warm up, and then I'm gonna go run half a mile, and then I'll do my run. And
Right.
that feels better, but not as good as doing actual like speed work beforehand.
And that is what we did, in high school to get ready. We would go for like, so if I was going to race my 2 miles in track or something like that, we'd go jog for like probably 15 minutes. So we'd warm up way more than what the race was. So we just jog talking pace for like 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Then you go do, basically sprints up to about probably 70% of your speed for about 50 meters. And
Yeah.
do those over and over again. That way you're warmed up. And I think the purpose, what we thought about with the purpose is like, we need to be able to take off quick, especially in a 2
Right,
mile
of
track
course.
race. You got to get in position right away. And so
Yeah.
that first 50 meters makes a big difference. But I also think it just warms up everything overall. You get those,
Absolutely,
especially
yeah.
as we've talked about tons of times, you get those calves warmed up, so you have a nice spring off of your foot.
Mm-hmm.
Makes a huge difference in your stride and your overall speed. And, and jogging, you're not warming up that part at all.
Nah, man. Yesterday, 2 days ago, I was out for a run, and I just went like 2 miles out, or a mile out, mile back. It was same thing as you did. It was hot and sunny. I want to get outside, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I went and did my run, and I was running. This guy, tall, athletic guy, was running the other way towards me, and you could tell like this dude's just like either was an elite runner or still is, or something. Like he was just as light as could be on his feet without being like a toe runner, right? Like
Yeah,
he's just like
yeah.
just going not super fast, but fast enough, and just kind of bouncing foot to foot, right? And I realized in that moment, I'm like, oh my gosh, I am so down on my feet right now.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm not staying up on my midfoot strike is not good. It's just I'm not heel striking, but I'm like flat.
Right.
I'm like absorbing every single step. I'm not springing off of every step. And so I was like 3/4 of the mile left from like focusing on every single foot, kind of getting back to what I used to do a long time ago of like paying attention to my form a lot more. I think
Sure.
I've gotten a cycle the last few years of just go run
Yeah.
and not worry about my foot placement and my posture. And
You've
so
been a distance runner over the last couple of years, and we just
I
just
know.
go.
You just go. You just don't know how. I know you guys don't know how to do it. So, but it was
we
a
just
good
go.
like wake up call for me. I'm like, oh right, I need to worry about my foot, like where my foot's striking
Right.
and where I'm springing off of, and kind of like we were talking about last week of like, do I have dorsiflexion in the foot first, or am I reaching for it? So I was pondering this of the whole like toe runner debate that people often get into, and I simplified it. This is my conversation during the run with myself. I simplified the toe running debate to the issue is not running on the toes as much as it is the issue reaching for the ground with your toe.
Sure. Yep.
That's why they look stupid when they run, toe runners, and why it's ineffective. Because if you watch good runners, they're all technically toe running, right?
Right.
You're always hitting your heel second. It's never the first point of contact. So it's not like you're supposed to. You're hitting, on the ball of your foot and you're springing forward. The difference
Yeah.
with a toe runner, quote unquote toe runner, is they're reaching with their toe for the ground
Sure.
and trying to use that absorption rather than just a spring,
Right.
right?
Yeah, I still haven't thought through that while running yet. I'm gonna have to think through that. Although I think I need to be at a faster pace before I'd really notice it much. Because you got to get where I would usually reach with my toe. Because at 7:30 pace, it's I don't have enough of a reach probably to even flex
But
the foot
no,
different.
see, that's the thing. It doesn't matter pace. I was thinking that through while I was running. The pacing doesn't matter. You could be running a 9-minute mile pace, and you are, if you're doing a midfoot strike or a ball of your foot strike, which everyone should be doing always, you're just not propelling as much. But you're still going to have a light tap.
I have a feeling that I think that it's all in good form until I get down around 6-minute pace or faster. Because then because I'm reaching further, and I think I do reach with my toe then. I don't think I usually do, but I think I reach with my toe once I have a faster pace. And that's where I'm going to have to full on refigure out how to do that even. How to keep my foot up here and not heel strike is going to be a real weird, where to figure that timing out is going to be a different thing on my really long stride.
You don't cycle through, your cycle isn't very big when you run, especially when you're running faster. Your heel doesn't come up very high towards your butt. Your hamstring doesn't engage super well. But, yeah, so that kind of makes sense, actually. Anyway, man, I remember years ago I had a progression of running and form and posture based on speed and intention that was 5 points that everyone kind of fell into, and I do not remember what it is.
Oh.
Can you guys imagine how much better this podcast would be if I could remember things, this dumb five step progression of form and foot strike and whatever. It would be so great if I just remembered things. Hey, I like how this is almost an interesting podcast. It's not. It's not at all. It's almost interesting. And I like how David humors me as if I'm saying something interesting that I'm not. So I appreciate you guys making it this far. It's really awesome. We're just going to do a hard shift gears, talk about something different. I'm going to pretend it's the same topic, but it's not. So good job making through. We're almost there. We'll get to the end here in just a minute.
So when we did, actually to finish that thought, when we did the mile race 2 years ago, or this last summer before, we did the Tracy Walters invite. My mistake, I think I ran too far first. We did 3/4 of a mile, we did 3 laps before we started.
Yeah.
I think 2 laps would have been good, and I should have done some faster sprints first.
Yeah, I probably could have done the same thing. I might have needed more distance though, actually.
Maybe, yeah.
Yes.
I don't think I ran. Rephrase. I don't think I ran too far. I think I just did incorporate some speed work first. I should have ran a little bit shorter with some speed work because we're only running a mile. We're not prepping for 2 to 3, right?
Right.
So it's a little bit different.
Although, like we were talking last week, it might have been, doing the right things at the right time rather than just jogging for 3/4 of a mile. But but I often need, I do need a long warm up is better for me for sure. It's just to get in. Yeah, I don't know. I probably would have been good doing 30 minutes of running first, then race a mile.
Yeah. Yeah, probably. Yeah.
With a lot of variation. I just warm up so slow that probably would have been good.
Yeah.
But yeah. So there is in Spokane we have a all comers cross country race series. And
really?
You can form a cross country team. Isn't that fun?
Oh, that's hilarious. That's
And
awesome.
they do a 5K and 10K courses. They do the different high school and college courses around. So it's the actual courses.
Okay.
So anyway, you can set up a team of 4 people or more, basically, and they'll score it like you did in high school, actual proper scoring. And you can also just jump in and do a cross country race by yourself too. So you can run unattached, or you can create a team. And there's a series of, I think there's 5 races that they do, and they cost $25 a piece. Nothing crazy at all. Anyway, I'm gonna try and get in on 1 or 2 of them this year, just to go and do one. But next year with a little more planning, I'd like to put together a team. It'd be fun to get it, to get 7 people put together, and all
may or
ages.
may not be interested in that.
So there's 70-year-olds out there, there's 7-year-olds out there, and everything in between, so it is an all-comers thing, and everyone's racing each other, because it's how your team does So they're not going to go in age brackets. You all go just
Yeah.
like how cross country races work. And,
Gotcha.
anyway, isn't
That's
that fun?
awesome.
So
Yeah,
I'm
have you been to one yet? Are there a lot of people?
I haven't. No, there's a couple guys in my run club that have done them though. So I need to talk to them about it tonight and see how all that went. But yeah, I really want to
Yeah.
get in on one. It'd be really
That's
fun.
That's pretty exciting.
Yeah.
It's fun that people are creating stuff like that's not just a run club, and not
Yeah.
like there's so many of those fitness competition things that are too complicated.
Right.
Like, why can't we just go do a race in the woods?
Well,
It
and
doesn't
even
have to be a half marathon or a 10K.
and this
or
isn't
something,
even a race
you know?
in the woods, right? You're doing an actual cross country course during cross country season. So
Yeah.
the lines for the course are already still painted on the grass.
They're still there.
Because the high scores were just here, right? So you got
Yeah.
the courses already set up. So it takes minimal, and we just go to a park. So rather
Yeah.
than like getting I bet permitting is probably way easier and stuff rather than putting a whole fun run where you
Yeah.
spend $80, you get a medal, you get a shirt, you do all these things.
Mm-hmm.
This is just like, no, show up at the park and we go do 3 miles.
Yeah.
And now you're doing a competitive 5K instead of
Yeah.
like at most races, the competitive races are the longer ones and the 5Ks
Right.
are mostly walkers, right? And that's your fun run thing. And
Yeah.
and man, I was talking to a guy at Run Club who was, he ran a low 2-hour marathon. Like, anyway, super fast. I mean, he is now in his 60s and stuff, but I had a great conversation with him just hearing about his whole story with all those things.
Yeah.
And, but yeah, we were both talking about that. Like, people always think that, like, oh, you go do the marathon because the marathon's the hard race. No, the hard race is the one that you push your hardest at.
Right.
That's
Absolutely.
it. 400 meters is brutal. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It is.
It all depends on how. So yeah, the 5K is not easy. Yes, 5K is easy to accomplish the distance.
Yeah.
But 5K is not easy to race at all. Like
No.
that's a super
Yeah.
hard race.
Like you're saying, anything you push yourself to your limit, that is the hard thing.
It's always going to be hard, and they all are going to have different levels of horrible discomfort.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I mean, when I did the all-comers meet, the first all-comers meet I did this year, and the guys were trying to talk me into pole vaulting that day, and another guy was trying to talk me into doing another race. I thought it was the 100-day. It wasn't. It was the 200-day. So I ran it, and like we talked about before, I wasn't really preparing for a 200. I'm not really in shape
Right.
endurance-wise to max out a 200 with other people racing against me, right? So you're going to push yourself harder than you would, and like. My legs were wobbly. Like,
Yeah.
we finish, and I'm catching my breath, and I'm walking just across the field over to where my stuff was. So, across the football field. And I'm, like, shaky. Like,
Yeah.
legs wobbly. I'm like, there's no way I should not try to pole vault. I'm going to run way too slow. I shouldn't do any other races. I'm going to pull something.
And you didn't
Like,
even run 30 seconds. Like,
No. Yeah, I
Yeah.
ran 25 seconds, and that was it. And I'm done. Like, my legs are done.
yeah.
You know?
Same thing as when you go to max your bench press.
Yeah.
That's once, and you're gonna feel it.
Yeah. Yeah,
You know,
exactly.
yeah, it's always like that. Anyway, but I just love that there's a thing where we get to be competitive at these smaller distances, and
Yeah.
there's going to be really fast guys out there, where I'm not just going to go win this 5K. Actually, I'm going to be middle of the pack in this 5K,
Which
And so-
is what makes me excited for this indoor mile in
I know,
December.
me too. Yeah, it'll be fun to go race
Whenever
guys that'll
you
be
sign
way
up for
faster.
it, let me know so I can sign up too.
Yeah.
It's going to be humiliating pretending to run a mile with all these really fast people. But it's going to be really fun to see how fast I can go.
I think there's also some slower people. So I think we'll end up being
Okay,
kind of
good.
middle of the
Good.
pack.
I
So I don't think it'll be embarrassing. And I think the guys that beat us are going to look like they should beat us. So it's, it's not embarrassing when you show up and it's like, yeah, this is like an elite high school runner or college
Well,
runner. Like,
I imagine
we
if
don't
they're-
even look the same. You're going to destroy me, Like you look like
At
you run
least-
sub 5.
Elise took a picture of me when I was pole vaulting with like just in the line ready to warm up with like all of these high school kids. And I just look, completely different, like not just stature and amount of like muscle I have compared to a high schooler. It's just like I'm differently developed than a high school
We're
kid.
not shaped anything like we were in high school. That's for, as much as
And-
like, I guess you stopped growing a little later than me, but I stopped growing in 7th grade, but I'm still shaped
Right.
drastically different than I was in
Yeah,
high school.
totally
Like
different.
the amount of weight I'm, even right now where I'm at, my smallest I've been in a long time, the
Yeah.
amount of weight I'm still running with right now is nothing like I was 135 in high school,
Well,
So-
and I imagine for this, if there's enough people at this pavilion race, that there's going to be a couple heats. I would expect they're not going to lump everybody into like one, because otherwise I'm going to get lapped.
yeah, right? I know.
Well,
yeah,
no, it's
seriously.
a 200-meter track. I'm going to get lapped a lot.
A 200-meter track, and if someone's running a 4:30, and even if we run now, we might not get let if we can run a 5 flat, and the fastest person's at 4:30, we won't get
like
lapped.
I said, I'm going to get lapped.
If you run a 6 minute and they're running a 4:30, yeah, you're getting lapped a couple times.
And if they're high schoolers, they're probably running under 4:30. If they're good high
Probably.
schoolers,
Yeah,
because that's
probably.
like a decent high schooler. That's not a good high schooler.
Yeah. Even when I was
Not
in
these
school, we
days.
didn't have any terribly fast milers, and they were 4:10, that kind of thing.
Oh yeah, when I was in high school,
Yeah.
our fastest miler was like 4:28 or something, and yeah, he didn't make state. Like he didn't go
Right.
on. I think he might have made the
That-
districts or something, but
That was
yeah.
my speed. I didn't make varsity.
Yeah, right.
So,
We talked about that. Different era. different
time.
fields stacked differently.
So let me be the first to apologize for that nonsense. I don't know what happened this time, guys. It got off the rails. I say I don't know what happened this time, but was it really any worse than the other time? If you're honest. So, but I am going to strive to plan and be better, because you deserve way better than this. That was, a little ridiculous and pure nonsense. So, yeah, I apologize for all of that. And if you made it this far, congratulations. And it's my promise to you that we will do better. We will be better. And take luck.